All right, Mr. Hammond.
Couple of changes to our evacuation plan, and then Marshall can come give you an update, and the different department heads that need to. We need to go ahead and do the rest of St. Joe Beach and Beacon Hill. Add that to the mandatory list.
All right.
You need a motion. So move.
All right, got a motion by Commissioner Rogers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCrone. Any other commissioners, any questions? Any further board members? All right, anyone in the public on this St. Joe Beach to Beacon Hill mandatory evacuation? All right, any opposition to that motion? Motion passes 5-0. All right.
I'll let Marshall give an update on the nursing home. I think there was some discussion about them not wanting to evacuate, but
Okay.
they are going to evacuate. The other thing is, several of us made a trip to the Cape this afternoon. There are a lot of folks still on the Cape, north of the rocks. A lot of folks still at some of the RV parks. We need to get those folks out tomorrow morning, and so we'll work with the fire department to let them go through the community and let them know. And really, there shouldn't be any non-residents on the Cape after tomorrow morning.
All right, Mr. Nelson.
Can we give an update on the nursing home?
And anything else?
Okay, well, then. Okay. I think all of y'all were in the briefing, the 5:30 briefing. We're still under hurricane warnings. We're still looking at a very dangerous hurricane that's just going to intensify over time. And that's one reason we're going ahead and looking for more evacuations, more inland, so that we can move those people out of harm's way. We have been working with the nursing home. They have not wanted to evacuate, even though they're in the mandatory evacuation area. And our storm surge maps show them actually getting about a foot of water in their facility. They'll be without power. They have generator power, but it only operates a certain amount of it. They might not be able to get food in. They might not be able to get meds in. Not sure what's going to happen with water and sewer. There's just a lot of problems over and above the storm surge. So we've been working with ACA literally all day, starting this morning, and we actually thought we had it nailed down, and now they got their attorney involved in it with ACA. So ACA was going to go ahead and get 5 strike teams in and start moving them out, but now the owners down here got the attorney involved, and now they're wanting to move part of them and wanting ACA to move part of them. So it's still ongoing, and so we'll just see how that works out.
And again, it is a criminal offense to violate your state of emergency. You've declared a evacuation for that area. It is 1 block from the bay. It will get water if we get anywhere near the storm surge that they're projecting. So we can have the attorney read them your law if we need to, but they need to get out. The other thing is Superintendent Norton has made 2 buses available for individuals that cannot afford to evacuate or that cannot drive themselves. Marshall will give the details. We're going to meet here at the courthouse tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the parking lot out to the side, and they will be transported north to either Liberty or Blountstown? Calhoun or Liberty.
Okay. And you said, what do they need to bring?
They need to bring anything. They need to take anything that will make them comfortable. They will need their own bedding. If they have a cot, they need to take that. Any games or coloring books, things like that for children. This is not going to be a luxury resort. It's going to have pure basics. And they are not furnishing cots. They don't have enough to go across the panhandle.
Bring meds.
Meds. Yeah.
Yeah, medicines for sure.
And if they're on any type of special diet, any foods that they need to bring with them for special diet, they need to go ahead and bring that. there's not gonna be real good feeding. Okay, there'll be sandwiches and snacks. And so they have any special dietary needs, they need to go ahead and bring that with them.
Okay. All right, I think we was gonna mention, somebody's gonna mention about the bridges closing. Okay. Sheriff, you wanna talk about that?
Recommended, wind speed is 45 miles an hour sustained. We're gonna monitor that. If we see that we've got people that still need to get out and, we deem it to be safe at that time, we'll continue to allow people to get out of the area here. The last thing we want to do is trap them in. So we'll continue to monitor that. I've been in contact with, Florida Highway Patrol. They've got additional units available should we need them. I know they've got other traffic issues throughout the state and, northern part in the, interstate to deal with, but they have offered their assistance to us, so we'll continue to monitor that, and all the people that need to evacuate need to heed these warnings and get out.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Sheriff, I got one question for you. Just looking at my information on my phone, it looks like sometime Tuesday night we'll probably reach those wind speeds. Is that when you project the bridges will close?
Well, for every hour it changes as far as when we're looking at that magical moment when we reach the 45. Again, we're just going to have to assess it, and when we get to the point where, you know, there's no way to put an exact time on it, but according to the National Hurricane Center, that we are looking at probably late tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, reaching that point right there. I would say, you know, based on what we're looking at there, somewhere around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock tomorrow night.
Sheriff, what are we looking at as far as getting people back in, you know, if we get to that?
Well, after the storm clears, obviously, we're going to be looking at setting up checkpoints as people come in. They're going to need to properly identify themselves through their driver's license, and we're going to have all of our deputies there with equipped information on their laptops to be able to pull up their information once they verify their identity and where they live, and they're able to go back in as we deem it safe, of course. If it's safe for them to go back in, then we'll allow people to start coming back in at that time.
Any more questions for the sheriff? All right, thanks, sir. All right. Marshall, just real quick. I mean, for the ones that might be second guessing or thinking that they, you know, this ain't gonna be as bad, how important is it for people to get out if we get the storm surge that they say we're gonna get?
Well, it's not only the storm surge we're worried about. Now we're looking at winds. We're looking at high respiratory tornadoes. We're looking at flash flooding issues. We're definitely going to be losing power. There's going to be down trees everywhere, down power lines. So this is a very, very serious storm. They need to take it very serious and get out of harm's way. We'll give them plenty of time, but in some situations, this could be a life or death decision on their part. Very serious.
All right, appreciate it, sir. All right, Mr. Hammond, you got anything else?
Courthouse facilities are closing at 12 tomorrow. Of course, your essential personnel will be here throughout, but that's all I've got at this time.
All right.
The next update is 9:30.
9:30 in the morning, okay. All right, anyone in the public got any questions for any of the board members or staff?
Hey, Mr. Chairman, just on our behalf with the buses, I've got Ms. Diane.
Hold up, Mr. Norton, come on up.
Okay. Thank you.
State your name and address, please.
Yes.
For the record.
I didn't dress for it, but no.
Ms. Norris, she gonna jump on us if we don't get you on up and get it on record.
I've been putting up boards at my wife's store, so thank you. But Ms. Dykes, I'm going to ask that you come up, transportation coordinator, and I just want to make sure we've got our instructions right, and we're glad you did call upon us, and got 2 buses out there, and I'm going to let you answer and address any questions, Ms. Dykes.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Ms. Dykes?
We're going to plan to notify the public that wants to take advantage of this service to be here at 10, and we'll try to have them all loaded up by 11 to give your drivers some idea of
Okay.
of that.
So
And Mr. Nelson's gonna make arrangements, whether it's either Liberty or Calhoun, to take the individuals in.
Okay. Well, we had 277 passenger buses that's going to be available.
Excellent.
And of course, with equipment, you know, with supplies that they bring, it's going to depend how much they bring to how many people we can transport at a time.
Okay.
Now, I know we're going to work part of the day tomorrow, so if you see to where you could possibly need more than 2 buses, you know, we'll be available
Way that
until
way.
lunchtime, you know, and that way we'll know, you know, we'll be there until lunchtime.
Okay.
And then I know Commissioner Quinn has my phone, everybody, you know how to get a hold of Mr. Norton, he knows how to get a hold of me if we need if you need any further assistance.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
So we'll have our drivers here approximately 9:30 and be ready, and we can kind of see what our numbers are.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my next question is, I just want to ask and see, how are we going to get that word out?
We will do an all-call and put it on the Facebook page, all of the normal communications from 911 emergency management.
The best way we can get it out is over our mass notification system.
Okay.
And so we'll put that out, like I said, Facebook. A lot of people don't have Facebook, but we'll start putting it out on the mass notification system. It calls all the phones in the area that we designate. So that should get it out.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, Mr. Nelson. Anything else? Any more questions? Board members, anything?
They are included in this latest round of mandatory evacuations, so we'll be notifying them to make arrangements. And if they have any special needs folks, they will contact emergency management.
Okay, all right. Let's see the official, Mr. Jim Anderson, you out there? You want, anything you want to add, or anything we might can help with?
Mr. Chairman, the only question we have at this point would be in reference to the Cape Sewer. You know, if there's a need for that, let us know, we can shut it off, but once it's impassable, we won't be able to get to it to valve it off. So if there's something we need to do there, just let us know.
Okay. All right. Any, Mayor, you want to come back up? No. Anybody?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
on the transportation with the buses, if we have someone that has no way to get here, Mr. Hammond, are you gonna say we can't take the buses and go down small streets and things? That we may not, we shouldn't, but we're gonna make sure if someone legitimately doesn't have a way to get here, we'll make arrangements.
If they'll make contact with emergency management, we'll figure out.
We'll get a way to
something
get
for
it. All right. Secondly, has anyone talked with the hospital or Sacred Heart? Is anyone?
them. They are out of the surge zone.
Yeah, we've been,
Well, I mean, just a question, have we talked with Sacred
yeah,
Heart?
we've been coordinating with them the whole time. They're gonna stay in place. Their facilities will not be impacted by the surge. They might not be able to get in and out of the facilities for a while because of surge, but the actual facility itself. I think that Scott said their generator pad was sitting at 15 feet, elevation 15 feet. And I know they really built that up out there. So, they're in good shape.
Okay, so Sacred Heart's good to go. Okay.
All right. Board, any more questions? All right, stand in recess till tomorrow morning. All right, meeting adjourned.
What time tomorrow, Mr. Chairman? What time?
10.